I think I have just about the most jankiest setup you could ever imagine. I will show it on camera if I remember to film it. My tripod is being like held together with duct tape, but I am determined to get the sketchbook tour filmed because I just finished the sketchbook. I did this most stupid and ugly final page. I'm done and I want to show. This is sketchbook 22. I made it out of 2 cereal boxes glued together, and I sewed the pages in, and then I put this paper on top and then these stickers. So that's fun. Decorated it. I always do a sticker on the bottom middle. That's always been my weird thing. I don't know why. That's just what I started doing, and that's what I'm going to continue doing. First, oh my god, this isn't even the first page. Okay, the first page. I did this paper on the inside. Just thought it looked nice. I always do a self-portrait on the first page. There it is. I did it with highlighters and layering and bullshit. So it's nothing super interesting. I left it blank for a really long time. I did the halfway page before I came back and I did this. I was just like stressing myself out about it, as I always do with the first page. Here is the second, or I guess the first spread. I tend to do writing my goals and my follower tracking on this page every time. This is a drawing of my dog laying on my bed. He's in the room laying on my bed with me right now, so things have not changed much in the past month. Oh, but I filled this in a month on accident. I'll get into it later, but that's me. And I remembered to draw myself with my tattoos, which is a big deal because I almost never remember to do that. I was having a bad time and I was like, wow, I feel so great. This I just remember being like, I'm in just the worst mood, and then I started doodling. I was like, wait, I'm in a great mood. So I made a little comic to depict that. I have this orange spray paint sort of stuff that I've had for a while, and I feel like every time I remember it exists, I'm like, oh, I want to use that for something, and then I always do something lame. I never do anything that's actually interesting, but these are 2 blind contours. Yeah, I like this one less so, but this one's cool. Here is Miles. I love this spread of him. This made me decide that he's into photography. I want to give him maybe my major, art education, but I also am going, okay, hey, when would you have time as a superhero to be a teacher? But also at the same time, I kind of want to figure that question out. When would you have time to be a super, what would that play into? But I don't even know if he'd get to whatever, doesn't matter. I did this whole spread with colored pencils and acrylic markers. So on this, I did this blue square, and then I was like, I'll draw something on top of it with colored pencils, and then I just made it a Miles spread. But this made me decide sometimes he really likes photography. I just like this page of him. He's very handsome. Here's some cash. My sweet. I layered highlighters, which is one of my favorite things to do in sketchbooks, is to just start with one highlighter and then just keep layering, because I love the way they interact with each other. This, I think I used yellow and this teal or I think a blue. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I use a yellow as my base, a teal, and an orange. And I made this, and it just looked really pretty. And then I use I use one of these to line it, and I think it just looks really nice. It's just very colorful and fun. Every time I do this, I'm like, wow, I love sketchbooking. Here I was hanging out with a friend on call, and I was sketching cash, because I think this was when I started working on my art fight references, cause that's the beginning of it, and I'll point out when I get to the end, because this was the start of me working on the project. And these were some left-handed drawings because my wrist was starting to hurt. You might have seen that one of my goals at the beginning of the sketchbook was to use my left hand, and I did end up achieving that. So I'll point out when anything was left-handed. This is cash. I think that this was going to be June, and then I drew most of it, and I was like, this doesn't look like June. Then I was on call with that same friend from earlier, and I drew her in the corner, how that one person did with Markiplier. So I did that, and then this was thumbnailing for the art fight video. Speaking of that art fight video, get some full body drawings of them in their prepubescent form, as I lovingly call it. So this was me doing that. Also, by the way, I'm just gonna mention it right now, I have my commissions open. I'm gonna put the shit on screen that I've been telling myself, oh, I have to make that, I really have to do that soon, and I keep being like, no. No. people totally love going into your DMs and asking for prices. It definitely makes people way more inclined to work with you when you don't have your prices available anywhere. It's really convenient. Anyways, I'm working on the commission prices. But these, something like this, it's like, I think I put it at $10. So if you just wanted like a simple doodle of your character like this, I'd probably put a little color in the background. $10. $10. This was that drawing I did for the video. My yapping about my OCs while I prepare for art fight video. I drew this basically just for that because I mentioned it in the script and I was like, okay, so I have to get that drawn. Like I have to at least draw something so I can have something to show for the video. This I started traditionally and then I drew it digitally because when I did it traditionally, I was like, I'm struggling, so I really needed to just go into using it digital and just like do it easier. Here was one of my first commissions I got. This one, I really like this commission. So this commissioner, they had this like fan fiction that they wrote and they were like, I just want to get like 2 cover pages for both of these fan fictions and I want you to like draw. One of them was Bloody Mary, Ryan Gosling's other movie Fall Guy. I don't know that movie, but I did the commission for it. And they had this Bloody Mary fan fiction, and so I read both of them to be like, okay, I'm gonna be educated when I go into my planning. These were like my first drafts, and then we got into it and made something even cooler. So I'm excited to get to those pages. But this, I was thinking about June and Cash because I had written in the script about their dynamic because I wanted to kind of mention at least some sort of relationship between all of the characters when I brought them up. I really like hadn't put too much thought into June and Cash's relationship until I started really working on that video, and when I thought about them more, I was like, I really like the thought of them hanging out, but I love drawing Cash. I have made the decision that he has like 2 styles that he like leans into. He either is like putting on, I want to say he's putting on like the most either traditionally like emo, pretty like cool 2000s fashion, or he's wearing just like a t-shirt with just like some stupid bullshit written on it and is like chutting about in like flannel sweat. Like it still has that little essence of. Most of the time, if he's not at like a party or something, he's wearing some stupid shit like this. And June is like, you're dumb and you're annoying. I finished all my art fight references. Now what? Yeah, you have that video to edit still, bitch, so get prepared. Still working on that video. This was me thumbnailing for the little animation I have of me in the corner because I thought, oh, it would be funny if I was like drinking a Diet Coke, and you'll never guess what might be on my desk right now. I tried to make the like straw sound thing, but you can't hear it because it's not empty because I just got it. A little doodle of me being like, once this video is edited, because that last video I made, it has been like very nicely received. It was very appreciative of how like nice everybody was towards it because it is an hour long and it like my computer was like, I am gonna kill you for trying to put together a video with this much crap. No, stop. And you could see that it fought against me. It cut out, whatever, I'm not gonna get into it, but that was a pain in the ass to make. So I'm really glad that like people have just been very nice about my characters and that video in general. So it's done especially well for my channel in terms of views because I get, I want to say maybe on average like 300 views a video. So for one to get 1,500, I mean, I'll take it. Like, I'll take it. I don't know. Anyway, so this is that other commission I was talking about. This was like my first sketch. We like did this and we were like solid. When I showed them these sketches, they're like, oh, I was thinking maybe some idea like this instead. And then I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. And then I saw this pose on Pinterest and I went, that would fit the fan fiction really well. But like, we talked about a different idea, so I'm not like, I'm just gonna do this mostly just for me. That's why this thumbnail is so, it's not a thumbnail. This is like a refined sketch almost. But I did this and then the person was like, dude, you're onto something. I sent it to them being like, I don't know, we talked about other stuff, but like if you want to do this, like this was just something I made up on my own. And they're like, dude, hell yeah. Here is, do you like how loose this signature is? This was my first day at my job technically it was a weird situation, but it wasn't like really. I am talking way too much in this video because I'm really excited, and I'm gonna have to, editing me is gonna be like, shut up, Hayden. Anyways, this was like my first day at my job, and I'm basically like art teaching this summer. And so I did doodles because the first day I went in, I was just like helping out. I wasn't like actively teaching. So when a different instructor was going, I really didn't have anything to do. We had a lot of help in managing the classroom. So I doodled some of the people, and then I got these drawings from one of the kids, and you will see more art from her. She was very sweet giving me these drawings of her dog. And then this is the teacher. These are a couple of the students. Oh yeah, I did the halfway spread on this day because I had an idea and I was excited for it. I just went ahead and did it. This was also still from my first day. I was doing doodle requests, and the kids were like berating me anytime I put a line on the board. They're like, that looks nothing like Godzilla. That looks absolutely nothing like Godzilla. I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, oh my god. And then this is when I finished that video. So you know I mentioned like it here? This is when I finished it. A good amount of time later, but it took, it's all fine. June and M, I did these like little doodles first, and then I did this on top, and then I was like, oh, I want to draw M on this side to like match this. And then I was like, well, I need to like have these pages match, so I need to I just like how stupid these doodles are. It just amuses me. It tickles me. Ugh, here's another commission I was working on. We had talked about like the idea and like the characters, and I was getting familiar with drawing the characters, and then I was also playing around with like different colors we would want to do, because they're like, I don't really know what colors I want. So I was like, okay, but I need to practice drawing your characters anyways. I'll just try out a couple of the different versions. And they ended up like in the orange with the red. And then this is some left-handed drawing. This I was thinking of Cash, and I was like, well, he's like a game design major. And so he would be like doing art stuff. What is his like art style that he leans into? But I was watching a YouTuber do like a video talking about a bunch of like internet art styles that I've gone through. And one of them was like the scribbly emo style, and I looked at it. I went, fuck. I have to make that Cash's art style. So I was kind of practicing drawing in it. And here's more practicing in it, but I was doing some left-handed doodles. I really like this page. I think I'm just kind of a sucker for any time a page is like remotely blue and orange. I just think it's a very fun color combination. How would he draw June, Miles, and M? And I really like it. I also really just like how different I made their eyes for these. And yeah, it's fun. Here, oh my god, is some thumbnailing I did for a project that I'm still currently working on. I have done all of these, and I remember I was falling asleep, and then I was like looking through her Pinterest board of outfits that I have made, and I was like, I gotta draw her in this. I absolutely have to draw her in this right now, and if I don't, I think I'll lose my mind. I did this first. And I was like, this is kind of an awkward space to fill. So I'm gonna put down like extra paper I had from the cover. And then I'm gonna use these puffy stickers that I've had for a while that I've meant to use in my sketchbook, but I just haven't. Here is June, and I wanted to draw her with like, I had this idea in my head for a second of like a pose of her like kissing. Yeah. Here is the halfway spread. I did this early. I left a note. Now that I'm done, I'm gonna remove this clear sticky note. My dog lifted his head up as if something very interesting happened. I just wrote that I did the halfway spread hella early on June 9th. Nothing very interesting. I love this. I like it more once that's off. I haven't like looked at it plain in a while. The only problem I have with this spread is the little like bits of parts I didn't color because the string was here, and like I didn't think to move it. It's really not that serious. Like you don't notice it until you notice it. And then I drew, this is Cash's hand, this is Miles in the bad place form. I actually did this with alcohol markers, and then, well, I sketched it out with like a Papermate or a Tombow marker, and then just layered the markers on top of it. And you can kind of see like some of the orange in some spots, but mostly it got covered up, and I really like approaching alcohol markers like that. I think it's fun. So this, oh my god, I've been recording for 20 minutes already. I've done most of these, except for this one. And I haven't done the other ones I've thumbnailed, but I've done most of this, and I'm very impressed with myself. But this is big projects I wanted to do this summer. I'm leaving these blank because it's mostly YouTube videos. And then I wrote about how 50 people watched me talking about my OCs all the way through to the end, which isn't like a lot of people, but like in the grand scheme of YouTube and the world, I guess. But to me, that's a lot of people because that's like, that's 50 people who now know like the lore of like OCs that I feel like maybe beforehand, maybe 2 people kind of knew really any of the lore, and even then this is like, it just, I don't know, it made me very happy that people actually watched it. So yeah, I haven't done any of these frames yet. I'm gonna take photos of these because I don't want to go back and flip open the sketchbook every time. But yeah, these aren't done. This was some left-handed drawing, and then one of the kids, the same kid who gave me those dog drawings from earlier, wrote me this recipe for tea. And then the next day in class, I came in and she was like, "Did you make the tea yet?" I was like, "No." She's like, "Oh my god, you gotta make the tea." And I was like, "Okay." This was starting to plan for a thumbnail. Somebody wanted sun and moon themed Bloody Mary commission, so I did a lot of thumbnailing. These were a couple different ideas. They ended up liking this one, but we changed it up just a little bit by like switching the faces around. And then this is another commission. So those were those characters that I looked at earlier where I mentioned like, oh yeah, we skipped a page. Holy shit. Holy shit, we skipped a page. Fuck. Oh my god. Hello? This is the page. Okay, so first of all, saw somebody online wearing this outfit or a shirt that said this, and I was like, I need to draw Miles in that shit. And he looks good in this drawing. I really like how he looks here. And then this was more figuring out for that like OC person from earlier where I was working on their commission and I was planning out the color scheme, and I added like this yellow ochre color just to like add more to the drawing overall. And then this was another commission like thumbnail practice sort of thing. Okay, back to where we were. And then this is the final for one of those commissions. So that's all fun and dandy. Lots of commission work in the sketchbook. Again, still haven't done this. This was thumbnailing for that one I just showed a second ago, but this was more of me being like, here's the colors, because on that other one I was just kind of matching the colors on my spread so it would look nice, and also trying to figure out like the pose. This one, easy, just figuring out the colors. And it's funny to see this versus like the final, because the final's like really judged up and this is just like such a little fart of a sketch. Here I was at the beach with my friend and she wore like this really cute swimsuit, and I was like, you look so beautiful and drawable right now, my dear friend. And this was her going down the steps. It was fun. It was a fun day. Hello? Okay. Here was me making my Team Tragedy Sona. Very simple, just like clown but blue is basically all I did. And then I drew Cash again in one of those fuck-ass tops that says some stupid bullshit. And then this was more figuring out for that one commission, the sun and moon one I mentioned, but I drew this Ryland. I was like, shit. I did not leave room to draw Markiplier. Simon ended up doing it here and then did the thumbnail like digitally. That's a lot of information that was unnecessary, but this I just drew it wrong, so I put it down here. These sketches of Cash, kind of thinking of like, again, what he looks like maybe once he stays in this form, but combining it with elements of his first design. I think instead of like visible acne, he just wears a shit ton of those like star pimple patches. Speaking of commissions, so this one, I really adore how this one came out because I'm just really happy with like this glowing effect I did. This person wanted their character drawn with like lightning and like sparkles coming out of their hand, and so I ended up using that like yellow ochre I had to do a lot of the line art, and then I went over it again with brown in areas that would maybe be more in shadow. It like just gives off more of a glow. I'm really happy with it. This was like a 2-part commission. This person wanted like a little Bloody Mary traditional drawing, and then they also wanted the digital line art one, so I'll show that. But here's that, and then here's it flipped. My phone was picking up Ryland's face as a real face, and that like scared me. Here I was at my friend's house and I was doodling some just kind of like them in their PJs. I don't know, I kind of had like the idea, and I think I just also kind of wanted to draw Cash in the future with a snake tattoo. Here I finally had watched K-pop Demon Hunters because the kids at my work were like, you haven't watched it? You need to. And I was like, okay, sure. And then I drew Rumi. I don't know why I said it like that. I drew Rumi. And one of the kids was like, who was telling me I needed to watch K-pop Demon Hunters, wrote this being like, here's the review of the movie. And it wrote, the very good, cool, and then they crossed it out, and then this says a preview, and I like that there's a dash of K-pop Demon Hunters by that same kid. She wrote, one day Rumi was walking along and saw a demon, she killed at the end. And then this is her drawing of Rumi, and then this is her, I think she meant to write demon patterns. That says lemon patterns, but you know. And then here's some thumbnails for a different commission that you'll see, I think literally on the next page. Yeah, literally on the next page. I was doing some planning for like the colors. A lot of times I do thumbnails just for posing and like figuring out that based on like the concept that they give me or whatever. Then I figure out colors. I did like a few, and I tend to do a couple variations. I was like, I'm happy with Ryland here. This I started with like a darker red layer, and then I went on top of it with a brown, and then this was a different idea I had, and they ended up liking this one the most. I wanted to practice portraiture. I need to get better just in general at my drawing likeness. I think I have bad same face syndrome, and by bad same face syndrome I mean 2 people have told me that I have same face syndrome a little bit, so I've decided that I suck. I'm practicing it. I originally filmed this as a sketch vlog, and when I made it, I was like, I don't want to edit that. This is just the page. I hung out with a friend, and so I wanted to make like a spread documenting it, and I was going over my process for making spreads, and I still want to make that video, but maybe once my other big video is done. A sketchbook video is pretty easy. I feel like I can put this out in between these projects, but I don't want to be working on 2 huge projects at the same time. That's not fun. Like, a lot of these are left-handed. I think almost all of these are left-handed. But this, I had like this idea when I was sitting in the tub. Sit in your filth and think about it. I don't know. It just was like an art idea that I had. And then I drew some flowers. I just want to get this page filled-ish. Yeah, I basically did these 3 doodles, and I was like, okay, this page is already kind of ugly. So I'm just gonna fill it with whatever comes to mind with like a pink gel pen. And then I had sent this message to my friend saying, miss you, love you, cherish you, with this little dog, and it just was left undelivered. And he still isn't responding because he sucks, no? Yeah, I wrote, he won't respond because he hates. And then I had a really bad week with a group of kids, and I drew me giving myself a hug and saying, it's okay, baby, the 8-year-olds can't hurt you. Here was an interaction I had with a kid, and I came over to this kid, I go, hey friends, can we? And then they like cut me off, and they're like, why do you call us friends? And I was like, I don't know, because you're my friends. And they're like, well, you never asked to be friends. I'm not your friend. And then in this like tone, I was like, yeah, whatever, I didn't even want to be your friend. You're not even like cool or anything. Just in that exact voice, and she's like, good. She was probably like my favorite kid that week just because she was just kind of mean. Like I think sometimes the kids that are like mean, not towards other students, but are kind of just like mean to you, not like out of a disrespectful way, that's just kind of like their nature. I find them, they're so funny. I love those kids. But he had this big ass stick, and we were on a walk, and I took this cute photo of him. And this was just kind of me being like, this is what I'm doing this summer. Walking my dog and working with children. So I'm really doing the Lord's work, if you will. Oh, that's why it started to lean. Oh my god, I love this page. It's really stupid. It's very stupid. I drew this partially with my left hand, partially with my right. Most of it left-handed though. I really like this of them. I think it's cute. And then I wrote, ugh, they're doing PDA at the polls again. This little doodle of them is cute. I just had this idea for their, again, I was doing some Bloody Mary drawings. I was doing these with my left hand, and then I have this commission that I was working on. Banger, banger, banger. This one I really like. I don't know, I really, especially like Ryland's face, and also just like the little details in the background, they just are nice. And I also like, I just like it. Every time I look at it, I'm just like, yeah, that turned out very nice. It's one of those things, you know? you just look back on it and you're like, wow, that makes me happy. Here's some left-handed drawings. I did doodle requests on Instagram for left-handed drawing stuff, and a lot of them in the post I was like, can you guys like do me a favor and make a few of them Bloody Mary so I could have some fun. So I drew one of them like both drunk and doing karaoke because somebody requested drunk and then somebody requested karaoke. And I was like, perfect. Some feet. I'm actually kind of happy with these feet. I think even if I drew them with my right hand, I would be happy with them just because I think that they turned out good. This is that bird from Up. And then these I all did with my right hand. I gave up on some left-handed drawing for a second. But I got one of them that was AU swap because I think about the AU swap kind of frequently, not gonna lie. And then I was actually practicing drawing their faces because I feel like even though I've drawn them a good amount of times, I would like to just draw them from an actual photo of them so I can be like, yep, that is what you look like, that's for sure. This one was a trans Bloody Mary request, so I was like, okay, how can I make them different from each other, but also interesting? So I gave him trans tape and him top stars. Anytime I draw his left hand, I get kind of mad because I'm like, why did I not remember to get rid of that? But you know, it's fine. I also, I like the concept of this drawing. I just don't love the execution, which is unfortunate. I mean, it is left-handed, so I can't be, too mad. I just feel like it's their faces. Their heads just need to be smaller, and it would be mostly fine. I feel like they're a little stiff, but also, again, left-handed. Their faces, though, look good. And then this I got Pingulu, so I drew Ryland as the little guy on the thing, because I was like, he could be that guy. And then I like this one a lot, this left-handed one. And then this is the last spread. I tend to go over my goals and my follower tracking again. Finish around August 6th. The reason I give myself half credit is because I did finish it, before then, but I also, my goal was to finish it around August 6th. I wanted this sketchbook to be done so I could do a specific project with a different sketchbook. Guess what that specific project was? Filling a sketchbook in a month. So, because I was like, oh, I'll have more free time and I can actually dedicate myself to it. Turns out that's really fucking easy for me to do. Practicing with my left hand, I did that a lot. I did that quite a bit because my right hand has really been hurting recently. But that's my own fault. And I need to just be better about actually giving it a fair break. And then scrapbooking, I didn't really do that a whole lot. I wanted to do more scrapbooking spreads, and I really didn't do that much at all. I don't even think I deserve a half credit. I did that twice. These are all drawings of my friend's OC, Claire. Go love him. Just go to him and tell him that his art is cool and that I say hi. And that Claire is just so cool. Just comment on all of his posts, Claire is so cool. And then I hope he'll understand. Here I did follower tracking. I wrote down my Instagram, follower tracking, my TikTok, my YouTube, my Pinterest. My Pinterest never changes, but I'm glad that TikTok didn't go down because most of the time it goes down. And then here I did the last page because I wanted to film this. And then I was like, oh, I fucking hate this last page. Oh, this last page is so ugly that I'm mad about it. It's really rough. I really don't like it. But you know what? Now I can just close it. And I don't have to think about it again. And I would love to show my next sketchbook. And I will. Here it is. It's, not built yet, but I'll make it soon. I'll make it pretty soon. Because I need a sketchbook at any given time, otherwise I will lose my mind. So, I'll get that made for me soon enough. My wrist could benefit, though, from a break. So maybe I'll take my time building that. So anyways, sketchbook 22. I hope you liked it. I really had a lot of fun making it. I feel like my last one maybe had more polished art in it, or maybe was, more refined or something. But this one, I feel like I just had, a lot of fun. And I obviously had so much fun that I just kept going. Anyways, again, my commissions are open. I mentioned that earlier. Please commission me. Please commission my friends. If you ever see me post my friends on my story and you like their art more than mine, I agree with you probably. So go support them. Give them my beautiful coin. give them your beautiful coin. And then also just like remember that I have an Instagram, I have a TikTok. I post on those like weekly, so if you like the art in here, I do a lot of videos of this sketchbook as I'm filling it. So it gives you a chance to witness it in the process. Guess that's pretty much it. I hope you have a great rest of your breakfast, lunch, and or dinner, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one. My throat hurts. Goodbye.